I think the time is start for today's webinar. So hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Miranda from New Venture Corporation and the organizer of Solar Talks webinar. So welcome aboard. So this time you could find today on your screen is our topic and the date and time. So this time New Venture partner with GoodWe, contributing to establish a platform for exploring the Asia Pacific solar power development, new energy, and the trends of PV industry with the leading players from Wood Mackenzie, JA Solar, Architect Solar. So the topic on your screen is about the 2021 Asian solar PV system future and trends. So mainly focus on the development trends of Asian, which will take around 2 hours. So this time first, I would like to thanks for all patients here and would like to join us webinar. And also with highly successful of GoodWeek 2021, the Global PV Industry Summit held by GoodWe, it takes on a regional format and launched on March 8 with GoodWe Global, followed by GoodWeek China, EMEA, APAC, and will end with 2 events in Latin America on March 12. So before turning to today's core webinar presentation, I would like to give you a brief introduction firstly on today's speakers. So you could find today we have 5 general speakers from here. So the first one is Mr. James Ho, the country manager from GoodWe India. As one of the top 5 PV inverter manufacturers in the world, GoodWe has developed and manufactured many new products, including not but limited to residential, C&I, utility scale, and energy storage PV inverters, as well as monitoring products, platform, and apps. So the second speaker is also coming from GoodWe. The name is Jill Jiang. He is the Senior Sales Manager of Southeast Asia and Pakistan, with more than 11 years experience in PV industry, familiar with entire industry chain, long-term business development in experience and sales skill, professional management and sales team inspiring tech knowledge. So long-term men keep connection in production industry like photovoltaic, medical image system, and energy, and also the others. So the third one is Max Zhang. He is the head of Asia Pacific region from Architect Solar, more than 10 years PV industry experience at the sales and the marketing role, focused on the Asia Pacific region, very familiar with the customer's requirements and the market trend. So the first one is Ms. Xin Zhang. She is the solar market consultant, Asia Pacific Power and Renewables Research from Wood Mackenzie, and she focuses on managing and analyzing solar market data, writing solar market outlooks, and developing forecasts for various countries. So before joining Wood Mackenzie, she worked with Rocky Mountain Institute to optimize clean energy portfolios and studied the impact of carbon pricing on conventional fuels. So the last one is Mr. Andrew Zhang. So he is a technical sales manager from JA Solar. So he has engineering background, engaged in PV industry for 8 years, and focused on the Asia Pacific market. So we are glad to hear that they were coming here and to join our today's webinar. So you could find on your screen is today's agenda, and today is kind of a bit of long, more than our previous webinars, but each presentation always could bring you a very valuable presentation and products and the contents for you. So I think I will be the host for today's webinar, and later I will give the microphone and to our James, Xin, Jill, Andrew, and Max. By the way, I would like to quickly introduce our company, New Venture. We are dedicated to supporting key investors and developers for successful development and investment in APAC renewable energy sector. And for our program, actually, for now, we have the footprints across the Asia Pacific, like Vietnam, Myanmar, Malaysia, and also the Middle East. By the way, if the audience would like to raise your hands or have any technical issues, you could type on your question box. And the Q&A time after each presentation, I will give 2 to 5 minutes for each speaker. So recording, I think next week I could send you all. So no worry for that. So now I would like to give the time to the first speaker, Mr. James Ho, and he will give a very briefly welcome address to today's webinar.
Distinguished guests, partners, ladies and gentlemen. Region. I would like to thank you all very much for joining the GoodWe APAC event. In the face of the increasingly severe climate change, the world is quickly moving towards a new round of energy transformation under the concept of one community with a shared future for the mankind and a cleaner world for all. GoodWe started because of this trend and is very much part of the global energy transformation. For the GoodWe APAC event, we invited the top companies and professional media from various fields of the PV industry to focus on the development of the Asia-Pacific region and discuss the technology trends of PV modules, inverters, trackers, and other core components. As a company, GoodWe remains committed to the customer-centric values and serving local users in different market regions. We have established ourselves as a leading inverter supplier in APAC markets, especially in the C&I segment. We have partnered with one of the biggest and most influential customers, Tata Power in India, since 2007, and have achieved a dominant market share thanks to our solid partnership. The increasing number of installations of our 1500-volt inverter also marks an exciting new era for GoodWe. We will further strengthen our leading role in APAC's C&I and utility segments. GoodWe also performs well in other global markets, with an accumulative delivery of more than 2 million inverters and installation of 23 gigawatts in more than 100 countries and regions. GoodWe has been ranked as one of the top 10 inverter suppliers by IHS Markit and has achieved 5 consecutive TÜV Rheinland All Quality Matters Awards. As for the storage sector, we remain at the forefront of innovation. We developed this new technology as early as 2012. GoodWe now has the most complete range of energy storage products and solutions, and has been ranked as the global #1 storage inverter by Woods Magazine since 2019. As a world leading manufacturer of PV inverters and energy storage solutions, GoodWe is determined to be a major force for the global energy change. Thank you again for your participation. Let's work together to create a new era of smart energy. Have a great day.
So I think thanks for the time and the presentation for James Ho, and we really appreciate for he let us know the GoodWe's products and GoodWe's company that makes very deeply for our minds. So now I'd like to give the microphone to Ms. Xin Zhang, and she will bring us about the market analysis and the future trend of Asian PV industry. So hi,
Okay,
could you hear me?
Yeah, sure. So I can share my screen now, and
sure.
let me know if you can see it. Can you see the screen?
Actually, no. Could you share again?
Can you see it now?
Yes, very clear. And you could use the full screen to have the presentation. That's better. Yes, perfectly. Thank you. Please.
Okay, so everyone is able to see that? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So hi everyone, thank you so much for joining this webinar today. And this is Xin Zhang from Wood Mackenzie, and I'm currently based in Shanghai, China. So my presentation topic is Asian Pacific Solar Market Overview, and I will walk you through the market analysis and the future trend of solar PV industry. If you have any questions through my presentation, please feel free to send it through the chat box and I will answer them later. Okay, before we actually start, please allow me to use a few seconds to introduce Wood Mackenzie's Power and Renewable Service. Sorry, is that any issue from that? Okay, hopefully not. Okay, so far we have covered wind, solar, storage, grid edge, and power outlook in our service. And for solar, we have included 3 parts. The first one is solar supply chain, in which we track and publish the monthly price trend of module, inverter, totem tracker across the world. The second one is solar tech systems and operations, in which we track the latest technology and rank the top players across the world annually. And the third part is solar market dynamics. Me myself is working on this, and we track projects, pipelines, and policy update in over 100 countries across the world. And we publish quarterly reports to share our findings. Another service I would like to introduce here is our Asian Pacific Power Service. We have LCOE forecast till 2050 for 11 technologies. And among them, there are 4 solar tech, including utility PV LCOE, residential PV LCOE, commercial PV LCOE, and solar plus storage LCOE. And we have already covered 12 countries in APAC, and we are increasing our coverage now. And today, I will share our solar market outlook based on the 2020 Q4 forecast and our LCOE findings from our LCOE report from last year. And that's enough about WoodMac, and let's get started with the solar market trend. Here is a global solar overview based on our 2020 Q4 outlook. The figure here shows the annual solar PV installation by region from 2015 to 2025. And we can see that despite coronavirus headwinds, the solar market growth even strengthens in almost all the regions. In 2020, the annual installation reached 134 gigawatt, and it continues increasing. The year-over-year growth continues with an annual increase of around 170 gigawatt on average till 2025. Asia, which is labeled in dark blue here, takes up a significant share. From 2021 to 2025, the share will increase from 50% to 55%. And this is mainly driven by the decreasing cost and the strong policy incentives in Asian Pacific. If we step back to 2020, we can see that the Asia share reached almost 60% in this year. And this is because China and Vietnam's installation rush by the end of 2020. And I will talk more about these details in the following slides. And besides Asia, some smaller markets, such as Africa in light blue here, and Middle East in yellow here, are also expected to expand in the next few years. Okay, then let's look at the country breakdown of the Asian Pacific annual solar outlook. The stacked columns here are the installation in each country, and we can see that China, labeled in light blue here, is always the leading one. In 2020, its installation reached 48 gigawatts to complete the final round of subsidy and to fully utilize the grid quota. And the same story happened in Vietnam, which is labeled in green here. 2020 was the final year for its feed-in tariff, and the installation rush led to a total installation of around 14 gigawatts. This also made Vietnam the 3rd largest solar market globally last year. And the red line in the figure here is the annual growth rate. We can see that the annual growth rate before 2020 was faster than the world pace, and then it will drop in 2021 due to the subsidy phase out, and then it will ramp up again in a stable manner to around 90 gigawatt per year till 2025. The follow-up policies after subsidy phase out, together with the declining solar cost, are very essential to avoid the so-called solar coaster situation that happened in some European countries historically, such as Germany. The carbon neutral targets in China, Japan, and South Korea, the corporate PPA scheme in Vietnam and Singapore, the net metering development in Malaysia, the market reform in Indonesia are all very good examples for follow-up support. I will talk more about them in the following slides on each country. Then let's look at China first. For China, continuous policy support is essential to its stable growth in the next 5 years. The figure here shows its annual solar installation by sector. The light blue bars are less than 20 kilowatt. The dark blue bars are less than 1 megawatt. The gray bars are less than 5 megawatts, and the green bars are larger than 5 megawatts. And they each represent the residential sector, the commercial sector, the industrial sector, and the utility sector. If we focus on the time frame starting from 2021, we can see that all the sectors are growing, and this is mainly because of the decreasing LCOE and the strong policy support. The carbon neutral target is a leading long-term policy in China, and the 14th five-year plan is a more specific one. Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Jiangxi have already announced their drafts, and this draft have specific solar and wind target for the next 5 years. And we can see that in the past 5 years, from 2015 to 2020, the green bars of the utility PV were taking up a larger share, while compared to that, in the next 5 years, the share of distributed solar sector will increase. And this is because of the subsidy for distributed solar continues, and its demand is increasing, especially in coastal provinces in China. Another thing I would like to mention here is the profitability. I believe everyone in the industry has seen the module price increase this year, and we are all wondering when it will reach the peak. And this has brought much pressure to solar players. Even though the general trend for solar cost is decreasing, short-term fluctuations still exists, and there is fierce competition in the China solar market. Then India. India suffers a lot from coronavirus. As the figure here shows, the red dashed line is our focus before COVID-19, and around 15 gigawatt solar PV installation has been downgraded. The recovery will not be stable until 2022. And among all the sectors, even though the distributed solar is also developing, we can see that the green bars of the utility PV take up most of the share. This is because auctions have been one of the main drivers for the Indian solar development. The attractive tariff supports the utility PV development in India. However, as the tariff goes down and the coronavirus impact increases, UPV share gradually decreases. And from this figure, we can also see there will be an increase from 2022. And besides the impact from LCOE decrease, this is mainly driven by the 2022 target of 100 gigawatt solar, even though we do not believe this target can be achieved. This target can still pull up the Indian installation to the pre-COVID level. And the 2030 target will start to have impact starting from 2025. And there are many barriers in the Indian market as well. Its grid system, or to say its transmission or delivery system, is a major constraint. And the profitability is a concern due to the always delayed or even canceled tenders in this country. Then Japan. According to the annual solar outlook figure here, the green bar for utility PV is limited after 2020, and the distributed solar leads the increase. If we look back to 2015, we can see that there was decent total installation, and then it goes down year over year. This is because FITs are going down, and the pressure from permitting and high land cost is striking the solar growth. Then please look at the year of 2022 here. We can see that the market is gradually increasing, even though FIT scheme will end in 2022. The following FIP scheme, which is feed-in premium scheme here, is less attractive to solar developers. We still believe the solar economics together with the carbon neutral targets impact will be a strong driver for solar growth in the future. Then South Korea. This market is kind of similar to Japan's to some extent. They both have very high land cost and their distributed solar development is outcompeting utility PV. However, these two countries have very different growth trend. As figure here shows, the dark blue bars and the gray bars, which are the commercial and industrial sectors, dominate this market. There is also a small portion for large-scale solar, which is in green here, and this is mainly benefited from the floating solar projects. Different from Japan, South Korean market is not seeing an obvious decline because of the FIT phase out, and this is because the clear RPS target is working as following up support. And besides that, the early retirement for fossil fuel plants and developing corporate PPA scheme are also very supportive for South Korea's solar development. Then Australia. From this annual solar outlook here, we can see that small-scale solar is increasing while utility-scale solar is decreasing in the next 5 years. The main reason is that Australia already has a relatively high solar penetration, and distributed solar has larger potential now. The mature corporate PPA scheme, the state-level renewables targets, and the development plans for renewable zones are very helpful as short-term policy support, especially in the next 2 to 3 years. However, because of the high renewable penetration, curtailment issue remains as a concern. Profitability and the lack of other long-term national level support are also issues for developers in the future. Then ASEAN. If we look at Southeast Asia market closely, we can see that Vietnam in light blue here is leading since 2019. However, it is hard for Vietnam to keep this high installation volume in the next few years. Grid stability is a main concern. However, with the direct PPA scheme and the trial auctions going on in Vietnam, it is still a very promising market. And similar to Vietnam, establishing following up policies and enabling routes to market for solar projects will be the key for growth in other ASEAN countries as well. For example, Thailand, and it is in green here. It was the most heated market before Vietnam in ASEAN. However, the lack of long-term policy support cooled down this market, but as LCOE decreases, the market is gradually growing now. Malaysia in light blue here is another example. It updates its net metering scheme regularly to support its solar development, and it has a stable annual growth in the next few years. Another country I would like to talk about here is Indonesia. It is labeled in dark red here. Indonesia used to have a build, operate, transfer model, and now it's changed to a build, operate, own model. And this new model provides more opportunities for solar developers to own solar assets. And this market is gradually growing now. To summarize a little bit here, once the policy uncertainty, the market reform issue, and land acquisition challenges can be addressed properly in ASEAN, this market is very promising and has great potential in the future. Another thing I would like to mention here is as auctions introduced in ASEAN, this market is more open to foreign investments now, and more neighboring and foreign investments are attracted to this region. One question that I often receive is in which market segment has the largest potential in ASEAN? And the answer is both, but the situation varies in each country. The figure here shows the share of installation by market segment from 2020 to 2025. Vietnam and Thailand have a larger share of small-scale solar, and their rooftop sector are both very attractive to investors. Malaysia and Philippines are balanced, but with a slightly larger share of utility-scale solar, while Indonesia has a very different story. It has a much larger share of large-scale solar. Then let's go to the second part of the cost trend. Here is the LCOE trend in Asian Pacific. Wood Mackenzie built a model to focus renewables LCOE, And this model calculated the average cost of building a new power plant of a certain type in a given year. And then we compare the costs. At this point, we have covered 12 countries in Asian Pacific. And by the way, the model results are from our base scenario. And in that scenario, we have not included the impact from the new policies yet, such as the carbon neutral targets impact, but we are working on a new version now, and it will be released soon. So we'll go back to the content here. From the left map here, we can see that in 2020, India, partial China, and partial Australia, solar was already the lowest cost technology based on average cost, while in other Asian Pacific countries, coal, hydro, and nuclear still had the lowest cost. Then look at the right map here. It shows the situation in 2030. We can see that, except for a few regions in Japan, Malaysia, and Indonesia, solar can still be the most cost-competitive technology, and the exceptions are mainly because of the extremely low cost of fossil fuels in that region. One thing to note here is, even though in some regions of Malaysia and Indonesia, the cheapest tech will still be coal in 2030, but actually their LCOE is lower than some East Asian countries such as Japan's LCOE. If we look at the average cost breakdown by technology in Asian Pacific, we can see that renewables costs are going down for both wind and solar, and fossil fuel costs are going up. And we can see that utility PV in orange here is already cost competitive against gas in 2019 with the LCOE of $90 per megawatt hour. And this is the same tipping point as onshore wind. And the parity time against coal in light blue here will be in 2023. And the tipping point LCOE will be $60 per megawatt hour. As for residential solar in red here, the cost competitive time against gas will be 2027 with the LCOE of $100 per megawatt hour, and against coal will be in 2042 with the LCOE of $70 per megawatt hour. Here, I would like to emphasize again that the results are calculated from average costs, and it can only be the average number, but instead of the short-term true values. And the shaky yellow line here for offshore wind is because more and more countries are expected to join the offshore market and are being put to the average calculations thereby. Then let's look at the utility PV LCOE when including storage. Here we calculate the cost when including a 4-hour lithium storage system. From the left figure here, we can see that the tipping point for solar plus storage is similar to that of residential PV. The parity time against gas will be in 2026, and against coal will be in 2044. And then let's look at the right figure here. Here, premium means by how much solar plus storage cost is larger than utility PV. And as the figure shows, solar plus storage system will still have over 60% premium over a pure utility PV system by 2050. Australia is one of the hottest markets to install solar plus storage systems in Asian Pacific because its high solar penetration is causing the grid unstable issue. And so far, the storage systems are not widely used in other Asian Pacific countries yet, but there is a great potential. In the end, I would like to summarize a little bit. First, Asian Pacific is a growth engine for the global solar market, delivers 55% of global installation from 2021 to 2025. And there are so many heated markets in this region, such as China, India, Australia, JKT, and ASEAN. Second, utility PV will be the cheapest tech in most Asian Pacific regions in 2030. And third, solar plus storage has the potential to be a new norm in the long run. Okay, that's all for today's presentation. And after this webinar, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Let's go to the QA session now.
Yes, thanks for seeing a wonderful presentation. So is there any other questions you would like to raise up hands or type on your question box to Ms. Xing? If no, and I think later you could send your questions to my email and I will transfer to her. So now I want to give another the microphone to another speaker, Mr. Jiu Jiang. He will bring us about the GoodWe HT and energy storage solution. So hi, Jiu.
Hello, Miranda. Thank you for your introduction. And now I'm start. I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you can show my screen now.
Yes, and the full screen is better to have the presentation, please.
Yes.
Wonderful. Please.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Jiu Jiang, and I'm the manager of GoodWe Southeast Asia. Now I'm going to present our company and our products, the HT series products and our storage products line to you. And before that, I will introducing about my presentation a little bit, that we will describe some most popular scenarios of our PV projects, and I will introducing about our solution one by one. The first is the ground-mounted PV project solution that, for now, the 1,500 voltage of the PV module and the projects are more and more popular. They will replace the last generation 1,100 voltage. With this kind of evolution, we got the cost reduction from the cable and the reduction of land for sure, and the cost reduction of the foundation. All of that we got increasing. Above that, we got an increasing of electricity generation up to 2%. And with our HT products, you see that in here we have more and more most popular PV modules maker. They had present their new generation products, and their ISC, the input current, is getting more and more higher. In our HT products, we can fully achieve that even the DC input current up to 15 amperes. So compared with the the traditional inverters, if their DC input only have 13 amperes, that will make the PV projects not running fully. But with our maximum 15 amperes DC input current design, we can fully running these PV modules. And since this year, you know that some of the PV module maker like Trina, they also invented the 210 PV modules, and with that kind of design, their ISC will even higher than 15 amperes. But don't worry, with our GoodWe products, we can just adjust our string input access design, remove one group of the PV string inputs to we keep only one string input access with our HT products. It still can be fully operation that kind of PV module, because each of our MPPT units we can maximum accept 30 amperes. The second scenario is about flat ground PV project solution, and everybody know that currently the most popular flat ground PV projects, they are using the bifacial PV modules plus the tracking system. And for example, we found that the GE Solar, they have a new generation of the products. If there are two sides of the PV modules, they are working together, the current will be around 14 amperes. So with our GoodWe products, HT products, it still can be fully support this kind of GE Solar's NB PV module. And about the tracking system, with GoodWe had integrate the AC terminal power supply. With this kind of design, the tracing system, they can get the power supply from our inverter. So the users can saving the cost about another power supply to the tracing system. GoodWe products already integrate that. It's very easy to maintain and saving the cost. Another thing is with our RS485 port, the tracing system can communicate with our inverters and even upload and download the information and the data to our monitoring system. And you can monitoring the tracing system's operation situation and report everything. This scenario is about the floating PV projects. Everybody know that the floating PV projects very problem is there is obstacle is it's not easy to maintain. So with our GoodWe, we have a package solution that we will not only offer the inverters, but also we can offer you the interaction communication box and even the transformer and inverters structure and racket, even the foundation platform. In this picture, all of these stuff can be get in one solution, package solution by GoodWe. So we call it centralization replacement. And with this kind of design, the users can be very easy for maintenance. And on the floating projects, the humidity will be a problem because the humidity will damage the electrical products. So GoodWe, we designed the IP66 protection for our machine and IP68 protection for the cooling fan. And also we integrate the PID repair board inside of our inverter. And we also integrate the humidity detection in our inverter. Mounted PV project solution, and you compare with the traditional centralized PV inverters, our string inverters, HT products, we have more and more MPPT units. So with the numbers advantage of MPPT units, so even we have the dusting covering, okay, the mismatch of the string or even shadings in these these very common phenomenon and a situation happened in the mounting PV projects, we still can get the efficiency higher than traditional central inverters. And we designed the IV curve diagnosis for this kind of projects. They are highly intelligent and supporting the online IV diagnosis at plant level and the subarray level and the inverter level, 3 kind of levels. And it's automatically generation of the analysis reports for the site level curves coming. That it's very easy to get a start and using this function, even one button start and saving the cost for labors. And the operation time is also very good. We make an example, if the project is 100 megawatt, the total detection and diagnosis period is less than 30 minutes. It's very quick. And this is diagnosis systems operation pictures. Just making sampling here. And this scenario is about the large CNI rooftop PV projects. We know that for the CNI PV projects, there is a very important critical thing is for safety. And we design our products with type 2 SPD on both DC and AC side, even type 3 SPD on the communication board. And so it will be very, very helpful and very safe for everybody to, within the instructions and constructions. And we designed the AFCI, we already upgrade to the 2nd generation, and it will be very safe to control the PV array system, operation system. And we also integrate the AC terminal temperature detection in the PV inverters. And everybody knows that the CNI projects, normally they will connect to the high voltage power grid. And we design our products we can achieve that zero export, even support the high voltage grid for both 10 kilovoltage and and 35 kilovoltage. We both support that, and with very easy and very easy way, we just another two tools, either EasyLog Pro by GoodWe and GoodWe Smart Meter. With this kind of tools combined together, we can achieve this zero export function. And some features. You can see that even in some critical situation, like the environment temperature of the product's operation, even it's up to 50 degrees, we can still keep 200 kilowatt output. And if the operation and the environment temperature is about 36 degrees, we can achieve 250 kilowatts. Why we can get this kind of great performance is because we have a very good design of the reasonable heat dispatch path and a very powerful and very safety fans in there. So with the excellent heat control design brings inverters with long-term generation and a reliable quality. And it's, for example, this is still the J Solar's PV modules. With these PV modules, NBB half cell pack modules, if you connect with traditional inverters, the DC capacity and the AC output will be limited. But with our GoodWe 200, with GoodWe HT products, the DC capacity and the AC output, they are both much stronger than the traditional inverter. So final result is our DC-AC ratio is much higher than traditional inverters. SVG is a very important and a very critical issue. And before our GoodWe products invented, HT products invented, normally the CNI projects, they will need to invest SVG cabinet. And but GoodWe, we integrate this SVG function into the inverters. So with this high integration design, it's capable of generation of both capability reactive and inductive reactive power in the night, and it's saving cost for sure. And we have the GoodWe HT products have many kinds of communication ways. The first is we use a traditional USB port, then you can connect with your smart devices. Connect with our GoodWe Solo Go software system and contact with the laptop, okay? And a USB flash driver, you can even very easy to upgrade the firmware. And with ICE485 communication port, we can contact with EasyLog of GoodWe, SCB3000 communication box, SEC1000 communication box, and it can be very easy to achieve the multiple units communication in large projects. And if you want to contact with some other devices, no problem. If the device, only the devices that support the Modbus RTU protocol, then you can contact with and communicate with our GoodWe products. And we're supporting the remote shutdown and emergency shutdown. That is also a good design for safety. And we support the PLC communication, the power line communication. Okay, in this scenario, you can see that it communicates with the transformer first, and it's connect to the SCB3000. If the subarray, we have different. If the project is bigger, for example, in a farm project, PV project, the subarray will be separated into different places. The SCB3000 boxes, they can communicate each other by a fiber, by the optical fiber, and we call it optical fiber ring, and they can communicate together. And the SCB3000 and SEC1000 box, they can access our GoodWe monitoring system. We call it SIMS portal, SIMS portal system. And if the users, they want to using some third-party monitoring platform, no problem. If they support the API protocol, then they can communicate to each other. And the key features of other key features of our HT products, like the high level protection, okay, the saving the cables, operation monitoring, and very easy and convenient for maintenance. Especially our products designed that it can get power supply from the grid in the night. So the labor can maintenance and turn on the inverters even in the night without the sunlight, and then the maintenance job can be finished. This part I will introducing about GoodWe's very strong products family, that is storage and some solutions. The first is the self-use solutions of our hybrid and storage products. In here, you can see that in some countries, if their a grid power price is high, so like European countries, okay, we will try to increase in the self-use rate. So it's our storage product. It's intelligent control the load, the relationship between the load, battery, and the grid. Okay, so make sure in this picture you can see, make sure all of the power they can are getting from the solar power to increasing the self-using rate. And if in some countries their power supply is not stable, okay, some bad scenario happen, some bad situation happen, the power grid suddenly off. Okay, so in that kind of countries, we designed this backup use scenario. For example, in here, if the power grid is outage happened, no problem. It can be the transfer the hybrid, our GoodWe hybrid products will transfer the switch, the power from the grid to the battery with a very tiny time. We call it UPS level switch time, less than 10 milliseconds. So with this kind of function, even you're watching the TV will not shut down. You will not feel any problem. And the last scenario is about the time of use. We discharge the battery at the peak price of the power grid and charging at the valley price. This scenario will be very well useful for some countries and some areas. Their peak and valley power price have big gap. Okay, and the users, they can custom and they can change and they can set up their charge and discharge time by themselves. And the purpose is try to reduce the electrical cost. The features of our GoodWe hybrid and storage products family. The first one is very important, very unique technology that GoodWe is the only company we can achieve the 100% unbalanced output. If a three-phase, it's like for example, this is a three-phase hybrid inverter. We can output the three-phase 1, 2, 3 three-phase with different outputs. Okay, for example, this one connect this air conditioning, and this one connect to this heat devices, and the second one connect with the power grid. With this kind of design, it can be very popular in some countries. For example, in European some countries, they don't need they don't allow it to upload the power to the grid. So the three-phase unbalanced output will be the only solution for those kind of countries. That is also why our GoodWe storage products is very popular in European some unique countries like Czech Republic, those countries. And the second one is we designed the UPS level switch time. Probably I already mentioned in the last slides. It's less than 10 milliseconds of the switching from on-grid and between on-grid and the storage power. And actually, our hybrid inverter, they can work in the pure off grid situation. But compared with the traditional pure off grid inverters, our GoodWe storage products, we still integrate these fantastic function like intelligent control and a strong output capability. Even a single phase inverter, we can achieve 10 kilowatts. And a comprehensive protection, SPD type 2, IP65 protection, okay, very easy to installation. That is also one of GoodWe's slogan, easy to installation. And retrofit solution, in here, let's say that with GoodWe's products could very easy to change your on-grid a normal on-grid power system into a hybrid power system. For example, even if this PV inverters, they are not GoodWe brand, we also support that you can using GoodWe's AC couple devices. Then it's very easy to make the system from a pure on-grid power system in becoming a hybrid system. This is our GoodWe's battery, okay? And you can also change, not using the AC couple, but a hybrid storage inverters of GoodWe. And meanwhile, the inverters can access another batch of PV subarray to make even stronger PV power projects of hybrid. And GoodWe's hybrid storage products, we are highly integrated. We integrate all necessary components and the functional units of various scenarios they can apply it. And with this kind of highly integrated, we saving the time, okay, and saving the space, and get the higher system efficiency. And this one is a very amazing and important features that the GoodWe's hybrid products, we can achieve a real DC oversighting. Let's imagine about if this is just on-grid, normal on-grid inverters, the PV side, the PV side power generated, they cannot fully transfer to the AC side. AC side power outputs, some power will be lost. But with our GoodWe's hybrid storage products, we can easily to charge this part of the DC side power into our battery. So we can say that with our products, there's no waste of any power generated by the PV side. So that is amazing features of GoodWe. And I will show you about our hybrid storage products family. Okay, we have the hybrid and retrofit products, and the single phase products, split phase products, and three phase products. And now we have a CNI storage solution. We call it BTC and ETC family. And this one is our all-in-one product. It's integrated inverter and integrated battery inside. And this is our GoodWe battery family. So the Circle A, Circle S, they are the Lennox SH, Lennox F. They are recovered from the low voltage up to the high voltage of different power storage. And the GoodWe is a global presence companies. We have the headquarters in Suzhou of China, and we have another EMEA headquarters in Germany, Munich. And we have 3 R&D centers in China, and we have 2 manufacturing centers in China, and we have global office and present people in every major market and countries. And we have 5 local repair centers. You see, especially in Southeast Asia, we have in Malaysia, we have a center, Thailand and Vietnam, we have centers. So we support Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific customers in well attitude. And we have more than 2,000 people, and GoodWe GoodWe is a public company and listed in Shanghai Stock Exchange market. And GoodWe with strong products and technology, GoodWe got granted many awards and recognition from different third parties, even IHS, okay, EUPD, TV Rhineland, Wood Magazine. They always give us very positive awards in here. And even the Red Dot for a design, super design award, we got approved, rented by the Red Dot for our best design of our solar inverters. And GoodWe's future development strategy, we separate into three directions. The first is we will keep the solar inverters business. It's growing very fast. And the second one is the solar plus the storage solution. Like I mentioned, that we are actually the global leader of in this area. And we are active to invent it and invest to our smart energy management. With this new business unit, we can achieve all-in-one service for our customer and users. Okay, so thank you everybody for your time to my presentation, and you can contact with our GoodWe Solar Academy by Facebook, by YouTube, and contact with us by email, and we can visiting our GoodWe's network. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thanks for Jill's wonderful presentation, and also thanks for GoodWe sponsor. So now, is there any other audience who would like to raise up your hands or type on your questions on the Q&A box for Mr. Jill? Okay, seems like no one would like to raise the hand about the questions, but no worries. If you have any ideas or opinions you would like to share with us, you could send to me your ideas to my email address. So that's okay. So now I would like to give the microphone to our next speaker, Mr. Andrew, and he will bring us about the GE Solar Deep Blue, your premium solution for LCOE. So let's welcome. Hi, Andrew, could you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, did you want to share your screen by yourself, or let me to play your presentation?
I can share my screen with you.
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, wonderful.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Andrew from GE Solar Asia Pacific team, sales team. And today I would like to brief some key points regarding the GE Solar Deep Blue 3.0. And the main focusing on this webinar actually for my presentation is to give a better understanding about the recent trend, increasing wafer module size. And this is driving an unprecedented wave of new solar panel products into the market. Okay, so during my presentation, I will separate into two parts. The first part is briefly introduce GE Solar products portfolio in 2021. And our target actually is let the customer understand the changes that the PV module are undergoing. And so we will analyze how these changing are taking place. And the second part actually will briefly introduce the details for GE Solar Deep Blue 3.0 from the practical perspective. Okay, before diving into the technical details, so let me quickly introduce about the GE Solar. And GE Solar actually is the top 3 solar module manufacturers globally, and with around 10% market share. This is achieved by GE Solar advanced leading technology and vertical integrated business model. And currently, GE Solar owns more than 15 gigawatt production capacity around the world. And by the end of the year, this is by the end of the year 2020, and GE will extend the module manufacturing capacity up to 25 gigawatt within 2021. And here's some utility project reference in Asia Pacific regions, which GE has supplied our high quality and stable products for these projects taking off. And GE has delivered the first PERC mono project in South Asia in the year 2017, and the first utility tracker project in Australia in the year 2016. And in Philippines, GE has delivered the largest 132.5 megawatt project in Cadiz in the year 2016. And besides, GE also deployed the first bifacial plus tracker project in Malaysia in 2020. And besides the utility project, actually, GE also joined the solar module for the floating projects, which are very interesting topic in South Asia. And here's some floating project reference in Asia Pacific market. And besides UTT and the floating project, GE also supplied many rooftop projects in Asia Pacific. And here are some commercial and industry rooftop projects in Asia Pacific. And okay, so let's go back to the module technology. Actually, it will be good starting from the module power increment history. And you can see the graphic at the left. Actually, this graphic has shown the module wattage increment within 10 years. And from light blue part between 2009 until 2020 is 2, and you can obtain the information that actually the module power increment is contributed by the cell efficiency increasing annually and integrated various technology such as the PERC selective meter and the multi-bus bar together with the half cell. And 20 years ago, actually the module is around 300 watt and with the module efficiency 60%. And now, after 10 years, the module power has achieved to 500 plus wattage, and with the module efficiency more than 21%. But actually, compared with the deep blue part, actually, which is mainly started from the year 2020, because the low PPA incentive, and as module supplier perspective, GE has launched the right and a couple of tens of products for meeting the market request. And the half cell technology will achieve the lower module resistance loss, lower normal operation temperature, and better behavior and shadow. And the multi-bus bar technology will enhance light absorb capability and relieve cell stress and reducing macro cracks. Okay, let's look at the first advantage of wafer enlarge. There are major 4 sizes of the solar wafer available actually in the market right now. 158 millimeters wafer, which we call G1, and 166 millimeters wafer, which we call M6, and 182 millimeters wafer we call M10, and 210 millimeters wafer we call M12. And GE are mainly focusing on the module production with the wafer size from 158 until 180. For Deep Blue 2.0 and 3.0, and GE has deployed gallium doping for increasing the module efficiency and deducting the power degradation. And of course, for IP rights before the type of module mass production, and GE has obtained the patent in advance. And compare with the previous module warranty and the power degradation guarantee. So far, GE has guaranteed that for single glass, the module degradation is not more than 2%, and within 0.55% from year 2 to year 25. And for double glass module, the degradation is first year 2% and within 0.45% from year 2 to year 30. And actually, this degradation is not from commercial judgment, and it is committed from the technical proof. And the idea is that actually when we enlarge the size of the wafer, the module voltage will be mainly at similar voltage and compared with previous generation, and the module current will be increased together with the module wattage increment. And then compared with the 158 millimeters module, and the M6 wafer will increase extra 9% current, and the M10 will increase 28% current. And this is the first popular product, which we call GE Deep Blue 2.0 series. and it is configured with 166 millimeter cell together with half cut and multi-bus bar technology. And compared with the 158 millimeter cell module, it reduces the cost of the balance of system, and the mass production in 2021 power bin will be around 450 to 465 wattage. And actually from last year, October, GE already upgrade our production line to JAD Blue 3.0 modules, actually, which is configured with 72 cells or 54 cells specified for different kinds of module application. And 72 cells were mainly focusing for the utility solar farm, and 54 cells module will be focusing on the residential and the commercial. And of course, both type of the module will be integrated with half cell and multi-bus bar technology, together with the enhancing module performance during the operation period. And currently, actually, all top 3 solar module manufacturers globally are selecting the 182 millimeter module as a major production for the year 2021. Okay, so here is the summary of the Deep Blue module benefits. Currently, this type of module are available for sale, and with annual production more than 20 gigawatt in 2021. And it has low temperature core efficiency, and also high low light condition response, and excellent degradation, and single glass or double glass. And this is based on the J actual production evaluation and forecast within 2021 to 2022. And for the Deep Blue 3.0 products, power bins are shown were these tables. And for 72 cells, 182 products, the power range will be 540 wattage and to 550 wattage. And 78 cell, 182 millimeters product, the power bin will be 585 wattage to 600 wattage. Okay, so the next topic, it will be mainly about the J Solar Deep Blue, how this is the premier solution for LCOE. And the first one is referring to the structure side, and actually this is probably the most challenged equipment to fit bigger modules and impacting the whole PV area mechanical property. And J actually had synchronized with most of the mounting system supplier before launching our new product, as always, and according to the confirmation obtaining from mounting system supplier, and J182 products are compatible with the metro mounting system design, and withstand heavy wind load together with excellent anti-deflection property. And besides, for J SAW design, and J has the throttle frame for module faster installation as option. And for tracker system, J module are compatible with either 2 portrait for landscape installation or 1 portrait to landscape installation. Of course, we are compatible with fixed angle mounting system installation and the rooftop clamping system. And from structure design of view, compared with M12 55 cells and M12 60 cells, for portrait and landscape installation, actually the costing where 182 millimeters module will be lower than others too. And actually this is an analysis based on the standard EN 1993-1 galvanized steel standard. And besides, due to the tracker motor limit, actually the maximum beam length is defined up to 100 to 105 meters. And for inverter side, J product design is compatible with mainstream inverter supplier, where either string inverter or central inverter. And J module electrical property achieved the design for long series, and the modules currently within inverter MPPT string limit. And actually, particular with GoodWe inverter for HT H and HT, a combination, compared with the conventional inverters. It has 12 MPPT trackers, and each tracker can load up to 30 ampere, which will be fulfill adapt with either 72 cells or 78 cells 182 minutes module. We add a monofacial or bifacial modules. For clearly understanding the benefit of GA 182 millimeters products and GoodWe inverter, actually we have provided example for rooftop solar system case study. And this project is set with the location of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam example, with a project capacity up to 5 megawatt AC and 7 megawatt DC, and energized by GA 540 wattage product and GoodWe 136 kilowatt HTH inverter, and the whole system annual generation is higher than the conventional inverters. And another study case will be based on the 15 megawatt AC ground mounting project with 70 megawatt DC, and also based on J182 millimeters module, where 540 wattage and GoodWe 250 kilowatt HT inverter contribution, and the annual generation also higher than industry conventional inverters. And from installation point of view, of course, higher power beam module will make less module quantity on the constant size of the project, and also less labor costs, installation costs. And our product design is also optimize the container loading space for more module capacity loading into one 40 HQ container. And based on the fixed size of the project, actually more land will be saved by using J high efficiency and higher power beams product. And from handover point of view, and where our module design also comply with the US OHSA standard and the UK HSL guideline. And actually all J solar module doesn't exceed the maximum 2% carry weight limit, and it also fulfill the rooftop mechanical loading property with no more than 15 kilogram per square meter. And besides, for JAD Blue 3.0 54 cells module actually has distinctive lightweight, so for the roof actually which cannot load too much weight. Okay, and for actually project analysis, actually from LCOE perspective, and we have the comparison for the 158 millimeters module and the 410 wattage, and both JA Solidity Blue 2.0 and 3.0 module had the LCOE deduction, and based on the 540 wattage 182 millimeters Deep Blue 3.0 module analysis, the expected LCOE deduction will be around 7 to 9% based on different location of the projects. And for actual rooftop project costing analysis, where JA 460 wattage module for 166 millimeters plus GoodWe 136 kilowatt HCH, and the JA 540 wattage module plus GoodWe 100 and the same type of the GoodWe inverter, and the JA 182 millimeter module have significantly reduced the BOS cost from various perspectives, like module installation, structure costs, structure installation costs, cabling costs. And for utility solar farm costing point of view, and 182 millimeters module also lower than 460 wattage module. Sorry. And apart from power, dimension, and efficiency, I would like to evolve one small subject regarding modules VUC and IAC, which will be considered as purity. And actually, this industry practice is we all know that actually power equals voltage times current, and high power means at a high voltage or high current. And the low voltage can add the module capacity and decrease the system cost, but there will be another impact from the large current on the system and the module itself, which should be noted. And this is just a summary for the 182 millimeters module and 210 millimeters module and 210 millimeter module half cut or 1/3 cut module. Actually, you can see from the left graphic that actually more busbar technology will be improved the power bins. But of course, in the meanwhile, more resistive loss will be added if deploy more busbar. And this lead higher module CTM loss and the production cost. And in the meanwhile, during module operation period, like this, and high current will also lead higher module itself resistance loss and boost up module operation temperature, which may lead possible issues of the cell or junction box diode burning out. And the last one is from LCOE perspective for 182 millimeters and 210 millimeters module. And actually, from our list, 182 millimeter module has significant benefit based on LCOE analysis, where this table. Okay, thank you so much. If have any question, I will answer.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for Andrew's wonderful presentation. So I found there are some questions on the Q&A box. So if there are some speakers are very interested or valuable, you could answering for them. So I think now is the turn to Mr. Max Zhang, and he will bring us about the application of solar tracker in utility scale projects. So hi, Max, could you hear me?
Oh, yes, clear and loud.
Yes, so let me share my screen, right? And you will...
Could you please let me share my screen so that I can play the presentations for me?
That's better.
Myself. Okay, sorry, just a moment.
Okay, no worry.
So, everyone can see the screens?
Sure, please.
Okay, everyone, good afternoon. This is Max from Arctic Solar. I'm the head of APAC region of Arctic Solar. So today's my presentation is going to talk about the large module era and how Arctic Solar provides a solution actually to the large module applications. We provide the SkySmart 2 products. First, we like to introduce the company a little bit. Arctic was founded in 2009, and our headquarters is in Kunshan, China, which is a small city, but it's not far from Shanghai, sorry. And now, so far, we have employees more than 900. And let's say by the end of 2020, we have already shipped more than 25 gigawatts tracking system and fixed structure tracking to all of the world, the customers all over the world, and with 900 more projects. Now we have about 9 overseas branches all over the world. In Asia Pacific region, we have sales office in New Delhi, India, and also Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And also we have a sales office in Australia, Sydney. And in Middle East, we also have an office in Dubai. And also in Asia Pacific region, we have sales service centers which can provide installation service and technical service, which is based in India. But also in other regions like South Americas, we also have offices in Mexico City and Chile. And our regional headquarters of North American is based in Sacramento, which is in California, United States. And now I think we're going to the era of the high power and large module. I think Jay has made a very good presentation to introduce 182 cell module, which is the large size module. But since the 2019, December of the 2019, Ryzen has launched their Titan module, which is about 400 watts. But since then, okay, Trina, Jinko, JA, LONGi, and CSI, all of the first tier module manufacturers had already launched their high power module, which is all more than 500 watts. Even Trina launched their Vertex module in 2020, which is more than 600 watts. But how can we see the module goes? The module will be 700 watts or 800 watts. Okay, I think it is possible. Okay, because of the power is higher than it used to be, then the length, because of the module, is increased as well. So let's see, Trina's Vertex module, the length of the module is increased into more than 2030 millimeters. For Jinko's same module, JA's Deep Blue, okay, their length of the module is almost about 300 millimeters. For the Canadian Solar, okay, they both have the modules for 182 and also the big size module, LONGi, Hamo 5, same Ryzen, same Titan, because they're all of the modules, big modules, they will increase the length of the module. But how about the width also increased? For the Vertex from Trina Solar Vertex module, okay, the width is increased more than 290 millimeters. This is the, I think, I have to say, is the biggest module now in the market. Then all of the modules increased. How it will impact for the trackers? So this is the, we think about the size of the module for the width, for the length. So this is all the module's length or the width is over, let's say over 2.4 meters for the A182 millimeter cell. And the width has trended to increase to over 1.3 millimeters based on the 210 cells. And also when the module's dimension is changed, then also it will choose a longer and a taller tracker, because the big problem of the traditional tracker is with the single fixed point in the middle, but a long cantilever and a fixed point and a feed to the feed end. So let's see, what is the impact on the tracker itself? Let's say the traditional 1P tracker, just only one fixed point, but it was facing the challenge with all the critical wind speed and the stability due to the tracker length. And also it will increase the pressure both from wind and mechanical load. So it will increase the length of the tracker. And also if you choose the 1P or 2P solution for the tracker, it will be the longer cord and the taller height for the post. And even for the longer span, it will make a very good big impact on the tracker solution, tracker design. So let's see the large module challenges for the traditional 1P tracker is only one fixed point, because all the fixed point is in the middle of the tracker. So based on the 30 modules per string, then 1P solution has about 3 streams with 90 modules. But if choosing 400 watt modules, the tracker length will be more than 19 meters. But for 500 modules, even 600 modules, the total length of the tracker will be increased up to 110 meters longer. So all those modules, the big size modules, it will bring us a very critical wind speed load, mechanical load, or everything to reduce a lot because of the higher mechanical loading pressures. And also the 1P tracker simple drive system, it will facing big tracker safety challenges, because the bigger the module is, the longer the tracker is, then the higher pressure on the tracker on the module it will be. So let's say we do analysis on the module pressures when the module size or module length increased from 2 meters to 2.3 meters. all the modules, the pressures, let's say we use the pressure coefficient, it will be increased by 2 to 4%, which means based on the front pressure, then the 2,400 Pascal will be 2,000 more than 400 Pascals, even about 2,500 Pascals. And for the backside, 1,600 Pascals will be, let's say, about 1,660 Pascals. This is a very big increasing on the wing speed load. Then you will see the animation. That's the way we do the wind tunnel testing. See how big module will rotate on the tracker when we do the CP on the wind tunnel testing. You can see all those modules will be disorderly control. And also in every string of the module, it will be, there's a different wind impact on different string of the module. So also it will twist the structure, twist the tracker when facing the different kind of wind. So this is the stability analysis when we do, it will cause all this main failure of the tracker structure. And also the maximum wind speed, it will enable the tracker to stay stably, because all those critical wind speed will happen time by time, even some very critical project condition, project sites. Then I want to introduce all those solutions that architect can provide to all those customers or projects. First, we're going to provide SkySmart 2 product, which is an independent row 2P tracker solution. It's the single row, but it's a double performance, triple safety, and 4 strings. Let me explain to you. First, it is available for 4-string system for 1,500 system, voltage system. And all those modules number will up to 120 modules available to be installed on the tracker. And the total capacity of the system can be reached more than, about 84 kilowatts total capacity if we choosing 600 watt modules. And for all those bifacial modules, because using 2P solutions, it will increase all the heights of the tracker and also anti-shading from the backside. So the total length of the module will up to 95 meters. This is will reduce all the land cost and reduce the labor cost as well. And also we have a patent technologies, we call them synchronized multi-point driving system. For the traditional tracker system, they only have one driving system in the middle of the tracker. But now we have 3 synchronized driving systems on the back side to move all those panels in front. And also we have provided 4 strings for each tracker, which will reduce all those trackers' cost based on the project size. And all those trackers, SkySmart 2 trackers, will stow at 0 degrees to lighter the weight of the module and the best cost structure. Because the traditional tracker, they will stow at 30 degrees. Well, after we do some testing from the wind tunnel, we find 30 degrees, it was good, but somehow it will increase the cost of the tracker because it will make the post or the pullings or tubes more stronger, more robust. But when we divided into different part of the structure, then we think if we use the synchronized multi-points driving systems, once there's 3 points from the back side, we can put all those structures, tracker structures on 0 degrees. This will make all the modules and the tracker system more safer. And how we calculate this capability of the tracker, SkySmart 2 tracker is more stronger to support under the very high spin wind load. Because the traditional trackers, the length of the tracker is longer, which only make 1 moving parts, moving points in the middle of the tracker, which means the longer tracker is, the higher pressure it will impress on the module itself. But SkySmart 2 tracker, we use the 3 moving points, then it will reduce the length of each point, which means the pressure is lower. So when we compare to the traditional tracker under the critical wind speed, all those trackers, SkySmart 2 trackers will increase about 200% for the wing stability. And also, SkySmart 2 critical spring, we can up to withstand more than 40 meters per second, even up to 70 meters per second. But for other tracker solutions, only withstand about 20 to 50 meters per second. So when we choose the SkySmart 2 solutions, it can be more flexible to adjust the wind protection and based on the different site conditions. And also those SkySmart 2 trackers is powered by string with battery backup, or the battery with healthy control. For example, some of the other suppliers, tracker suppliers, their product is powered by inverter, but all those SkySmart 2 trackers is powered by string module and also with a battery which can be backup for 7 days, available to power the tracker when there is limited sun illusion. And also those trackers is adaptable under 1500 voltage condition, and all those batteries is made up of lithium battery and backup power supply. And also all those SkySmart 2 trackers we have a LoRa wireless. LoRa wireless means longer range technology is used in many industry, especially like telecom industries. And also it's the lower power consumption for the longer range. It can cover about 8 kilometers per square and approximate about 8.6 megawatt projects. All those capacities up to 288 controllers for each controller communication box. And all those LoRa system is more reliable performance because of cost saving we compare to the, let's say, wireless controller box or wireless communication box up to 0.2 US cents per watt. And all these SkySmart 2 trackers, we have our AI controller. First, we have a backtracking strategy. I think most of the suppliers, they already have this backtracking system. It will increase about 4% to power generation. But now we have additional cloud strategy to monitor all those cloud movements to increase the power generation. It will bring us additional 0.5 to 2% for the power generation. And also we have very unique technology to do the optimized angle search, which can be also about 5% for the energy generation. So totally, let's say up to 7% for the more electricity for all those SkySmart 2 trackers it will bring to the customer. So, okay, and I think I have finished my presentations. If you have any questions, just type it into the communication box, then we can chat offline. Hello?
Yes, thanks for your presentation and thanks for Max. So any other questions? And from there are several questions on the Q&A box. Okay, so now how about let me share my screen about the ending parts. Okay, so for all speakers, you could kindly find your Q&A box and find some valuable or interesting questions you would like to answer. So now I would like to go to my part about the lottery time. So actually, GoodWe just prepared a gift card for the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s, and 100s registered audience. So this is lucky guys. We received most 20 to 40 USD dollars gift cards for oneself. So now I would like to announce for today's lucky persons. So there must be Ellen J. Dila Cruz from AGAD Solar Power Installation Services. The second one is Bing Wing from Solar Inc. The third one is Christian McCammett from All Vision Business and Enterprises Corporation. The fourth one is Dom Selek from the Institute of Integrated Electrical Engineers of the Philippines. The fifth one is Freddie Chu from the Makita Power Tours Malaysia. The sixth one is Jackie Chen from Carbon Free Technical. The seventh is Jackie Hong from ERS Energy. The eighth is Carsten Fuster from Wijian Energy. So the ninth is Matthew Gorman from Reed Smith. The last one is Muhammad Rizal Azami from Plus Solar. So later after the webinar, all we received for these lucky gift cards for these 10 lucky persons. So that's the lottery time. So is there any other questions or you would like to share your ideas for me or other speakers? You could send the email for me and I will sum up the question to them. So for this recording, we will send to you email box by next week. And for slides of presentation, after speakers' permissions, I will send to all. By the way, I'd like to introduce to another upcoming event held by GoodWeek tomorrow. And we will, you could scan the QR codes on your screen. It's one about the routing and another one is Brisium. So if you are ever interested for that, you could join us and to have a very wonderful and valuable the presentation from them. So I think it's today's webinar. So thanks for all attendees joining and dear patience for our 5 speakers' help and support and great sharing on site, online. So I think it's also, so is there any other things you like to share your ideas for every speakers? If no, I think we could finish for that. So I think it's over. So everyone could leave for today's webinar. And hope you and have a good week and a good weekend.